Welcome to another episode of Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton. And on this episode, we definitely got to revisit the combine. Man, the NFL combine was too much fun. It was my first one. So, I'm just now getting used to the things that, go down in Naptown or the Circle City or whatever you want to call it. But, of course, the experience of the combine was fun for me. Of course, the media scrums that you see on TV, but you actually were live in them. The basically the coaches and GMs talking, and the actual trade that happened the day after one of the GMs was
Wow.
talking, which or
Right.
one of the coaches, I'm sorry, was talking, which that was the Titans, by the way, if you did pick that up. Also, of course, players showing off their athletic ability and athletes basically just up there talking and showing us their personalities, or somewhat they're showing us their personalities, depending upon how much media training they did or did not have.
Right.
What was your favorite part of just the experience of the combine, just of those different things?
I mean, for me, the combine is, it's the combine, I guess. But my favorite part of it, my favorite part of the whole thing is getting to learn the player, right? Like you said, like their
Mhm.
personalities, whether they have media training or lack thereof, you can't train a personality. So like you're getting some of these guys are funny, right? Like you notice some of these like Dominique Orange, for example, right? Like I
Mhm.
got to ask him what was his dream endorsement, and he says, and I'm thinking like he gonna say I gave him two. I was like Fanta, right, or simply orange, right? Simply, orange juice or whatever. And this man said cuties. And I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
that's dope. But he's a funny guy. And so like he's, like
Mhm.
so to get those kind of answers out of certain people, then you got the guys who like you can tell were media trained, like Jeremiah Love, right? They're up there, they're gonna handle
Mhm.
business, right? He's there for one reason and one reason only. And then those are the guys like once you get them into a locker room, right, you might learn more of them and
Mhm.
get to know more of them as you build that connection with them on the beat writers side of it things. But when you're at the
Mhm.
combine, like you only get 15 to 20 minutes with each one of these players, and you're not the one-on-one guy, right? Like you said, it's media scrums. It's 20, 30, sometimes 50 to 100 people standing in front of this kid yelling his name and trying to get his attention. So um
Mhm.
you do, and this is also the best part. You get to see how they handle that, right? Like,
Mhm.
because as you know, Mike, like when we're in a media scrum in a post game, right, or a post practice or pre practice, it's the same thing, right? And you see guys like get up there and they're doing this and they don't really know, but now you
Mhm.
getting these kids are getting their first taste of Caleb, like, and it's
Mhm.
so and you get to see how he directs that and how he directs traffic and diverts his
Mhm.
attention. So that's always my favorite part, because as a talent evaluator myself and a guy who does draft analysis, I can see what you do on tape and know X's and O's all day, but getting the personality right behind that,
Mhm.
right, and how are you in a locker room? It kind of helps me place you right in a mock draft, right? Because maybe this team doesn't need a happy-go-lucky Dominique Orange. Maybe they need a more serious Caleb Banks, right? Something like that, right? So like maybe your personality doesn't fit that locker room, or and what we know of that locker room or that team makeup. So that's always the most fun part for me.
Got you. Now, I will say that we definitely were in a lot of the same scrums and trying to figure out
Yes.
how to weasel our way. I would say not weasel our way, but kind of weed our way through people and make
Man,
like for example, you had three elite corners or three top corners at the same time. So you
they
had
did
to
us
find
dirty
a way.
this
I
year.
got to all three of them. Man, did they? Did they? But it was just like, man, I was trying to figure out, I was like, how am I gonna get to all three of them? I made it, but I got to I got to Mansour first from LSU, then
Hmm.
kind of weaved my way through, got to Jamar McCoy, and then weaved my way through and got to Colton Hood. So I kind of went the opposite way of what a lot of people were doing. But yeah, man, it just trying to do that actually helps you as a media member to kind of figure out how to maneuver scrums. So when you come back home, you know how to maneuver them, and it kind of helps you learn how to jump in there as opposed to
Yes.
sitting there kind of. Because me, I'm more the one-on-one interview person, so this helps me get better in terms of breaking through those scrums and being able to, hey, get my question out, be able to get it out quickly, even though sometimes I did stumble over my questions, but getting them out quickly and getting their attention and basically being the first one and basically beating everybody else to the punch. So,
Yeah,
that
I
part of
mean,
it,
and
get the reps, man.
it also helps you devise that plan, right? Like my first, like me and Teron Davenport, shout out to him. Um, you know, I was talking about it. I was like, man, I got a plan this year. Like I got guys that I know I want to get, right? So I'm checking the time
Mm-hmm.
slide. Okay, I know I need to get this question off. Boom. I know I probably need to get in front of this guy because he's probably going to have the biggest
Mm-hmm.
crowd. And you learn that after your first one, because like my first one, I was like, oh man, okay, they on at 8 o'clock. Cool. I'm gonna show up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna get there, but it's 8 o'clock and you see it's 35, 40 people, and they ain't
Mm-hmm.
even showed up at the podium. And then by the time you get over there, it's 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And so I learned after my first one, like, nah,
Mm-hmm.
man, if they say 8 o'clock, you got to get there at 7:45. Like, you got
Yeah,
to get in there.
yeah.
So,
I kind of, mhm. Yeah,
and then,
I kind of was like, I kind of had thoughts on that. And I was like, because I printed off all the stuff, all the who was
right.
going to be at what podium, what times. I put my stars by it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get there early for this. When I was sitting there saying it, so even though I didn't go before, I kind of was like, okay, let me mess
Yeah, you kind of
around,
had an idea.
star all of
Yeah.
them, and do that. Yeah, I was like, yeah. So I kind of already in my mind was thinking, man, it's gonna be crazy up here.
Yeah.
So I
But
was
my
trying to
first one,
prepare
I tried
myself
to
as
get
best possible.
everybody. I tried to get
Mm-hmm.
everybody. My first one, I was like, nah, I'm getting everybody. Everybody getting a question. I'm getting questions with everybody. I'm running around with my phone on, and like you can't do that. Like some
Nah.
guys, some guys you got to just like kind of prioritize certain guys, and maybe you got a guy that you like, you know what I'm saying, or that you want to talk to, like you said, like with Barryon Brown from Nashville, or
Mhm.
so on and so forth. Or maybe it's a guy from a small school that maybe he don't get a lot of camera time, but you like him because you've heard a lot about him. So you go in there with that plan, and you kind of devise that plan, and that's another way to build a connection with these players, man. Because a lot of these
Mhm.
guys, they don't ain't nobody talking to them for real, right? And so
Right.
like,
Right.
it's just like at the Super Bowl. Like if you ever cover a Super Bowl, like it's the
Oh
same
yeah, I've
thing,
been
man.
one.
Yeah,
So I
like
already know.
you
I
see
already
that
know.
you see that one dude sitting over there, and he ain't got nobody talking to him, and he on a podium, and he just like looking around, like,
Mhm.
man, ain't nobody gonna come over and talk to old boy. Okay, like, but you get there, to, like me and Willie
Mhm.
Gay, I remember it was one. Matter of fact, it was last year in New Orleans, and Willie Gay was sitting
Mhm.
there. He ain't had nobody in front of him, and I literally walked. No, matter of fact, it wasn't. It wasn't New Orleans. It was Arizona.
Mhm.
Willie ain't had nobody sitting in front of him, and I was like, oh no, like Willie Gay, that he one of us. He from what I'm saying, he from Tennessee, so I gotta go holler at him. Like
Mhm.
we sat there and
There you
talked for
go.
like 20 minutes, and most of it was off the record. I did like 5 minute, like 5 questions, and then
Mhm.
so like it kind of shows you that part of it. Like you get to build that relationship, and in a way, it becomes a one on one.
Right. You're right. You're right. Now, one person we did both. Did you get to? I don't know if you got to talk to him or not. I know I did, but Makai Lemon, the
Yes,
wide
I did.
receiver.
I got a question with him.
Yeah, wide receiver from USC. I enjoyed talking to him. He was engaging to me. I enjoyed talking to him. He was just being himself up there. You could tell he was a Cali kid with the basically the swag he had and just the way he was answering the questions. But
I said,
for some reason,
let's
that
get
has
it.
rubs. Yeah,
What's
right.
good, y'all? Let's get it.
Right, right. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed talking to him. But apparently there's people that don't like the way he talks because now people are saying, oh, he's a bad interviewer and his way on the podium, his way he was acting on the podium. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, did we watch the same podium experience? Because I didn't see too much crazy about it. I mean, I know I didn't. I mean,
Yeah. I'll say this, like, and this is a blessing and a curse of being in media, but also a blessing and a curse of being on social media. You see people say some of the most asinine things about players, right? Like, and I know we're not talking about Makai. I mean, not
mhm,
Makai, but we're not talking about KC. But even with KC Conception, like people are like, "Oh, he must can't read, or he can't this, or he can't do this," and then GMs are taking him off their board because he has a speech impediment, and it's like, bro. What does that have to do with football? Like,
Right.
and we don't know that because we're not in the interview room, right? And we're there, we're on site, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is coming from people that I know wasn't there. Like, I follow most of the people that are there. Like, I know you wasn't there, and you're saying these things off of just
Mm-hmm.
off of what you feel like, right? Like Coach JB, and I know like people don't probably don't know who he is, but you probably know him. But like he's like, oh, you got to play the game, and you got to basically like promoting code switching. And I know I don't like doing the whole like race bait thing, but as a black man, when you're trying to tell me like I have to code
Mm-hmm.
switch, that tells me like, no, you're trying to tell me I got to be fake for something, right? That I've worked hard for. I shouldn't
Right.
have to fake. I shouldn't have to fake the
Right.
funk for anything. If my resume says that I'm good enough to be here, then take me for who I am. Now, that doesn't mean be ignorant. That doesn't mean be, you know, how some of us can be,
Mm-hmm.
but but it does mean like but it does say like you're trying to tell this young man and Makai Lemon like he got up there and he just put his personality out there, and I'm happy he did it
Mm-hmm.
because now you get to see
Right.
like how this young man kind of interacts like Steve. And my thing is this: Terrell Owens, right? Steve Smith Sr.,
Mm-hmm.
Randy Moss, Chad Ochocinco. None of them code switch. None of them hid their personalities. There's clips of Terrell Owens. I love me some me. Like you know what I mean? This
Right.
Shannon Sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like it's clips on NFL films and
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. You can go look up, you know what I mean, and see these guys' personalities, and you saw it come out, and that's what made them the
Mm-hmm.
great players that they were, and the great, the reason why you like watching them play was their personalities. I can't wait to see Makai Lemon catch a ball and look over his visor or look over his face mask at a cat and be like, "Yeah, let's get it. I did that, cuz." Like, you know what I'm saying? I just can't wait to see it. I just
Right.
can't. So I just think people are overblown. I just can't. I think people are overblowing it, bro. Like I honestly feel like this kid
Mm-hmm.
he's talented. He's probably one of the top 20 talents in this draft class. And if a GM
Mm-hmm.
is taking this kid off their board because of how he interviewed or how he talks, I should say how he interviewed because I don't even know how he interviews, right? Like I know what he did
Right.
up there at that podium. He gave good answers. How you feel like he answered the question, that's up to interpretation. But I don't think he shirked any question. I don't think he dodged any question.
Right.
I don't know what a GM's seeing. I'm not a GM. Wish I was, but I'm not. Right. But if I
Mm-hmm.
was, that's what I want in a wide receiver. I want to see that confidence. I want to see a kid that's up there and sure of himself, and is going to show me who he is because I need to make sure you can fit my locker room. So I think people are overblowing it
Right.
for real.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed the kid, and I actually look forward to what he's going to do on
Right.
Sundays when he gets out there. Because I'm like, this dude right here is about business, and I actually
Right.
enjoyed listening to him, talking to him, and you could tell, hey, I'm good doing the interviews, but I really want to show y'all what I want to do on this field. You could tell he was about that life and the field life, the field life. But
He might be
let me
about that life
kind of
too,
bring.
though.
No, we ain't even gonna go there. But but we do have a few comments in the Torn AFC South inbox. Said, my guy, sitting back listening, loving the content. Thank you, Donnell Thomas. He coming out talking to us from Vegas.
Oh man,
See,
shout
and
out
then of
all
course,
the way from.
yeah, man. It said, and then of course we got Corey Jackson Sr. The guys. He's always paying attention.
Appreciate
He's
you,
of
Corey,
course.
man.
And then he also said, Lemon is legit a certified dog. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is,
Yes,
sir.
he definitely is. Of course, I still think he's going to be one of the top wide receivers taken in this draft. I don't think any of this is going to hold up or stand up. It's
Nah, man.
silly to me. It almost seems like I got to bring out my guy Travis D. Holmes. He says, he always says sometimes it's lion season. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's
It
lion
is.
season.
It's lying season. It's let me see if I can put this story out or this tidbit out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, and let me say this, y'all, like, because we gotta stay credible, right? We have credentials, so we gotta stay
Mm-hmm.
credible. We really don't know
Right.
what happens. Like, this is all conspiracy
Mm-hmm.
theory, right? That we don't know for real. But I
Right.
can honestly say I wouldn't be surprised if GMA is like, let me holler at this aggregate site, runner. Hey man, we taking him off our board. Why? He interviewed terrible. right? And because it's already the buzz from the videos are already out there. The videos are already viral. So it's already enough, fanfare behind it to say, man, this dude, it's enough reaction. Oh man, this dude, what was he on? Was he high? Was he on this? Was he on that? So like now this aggregate site puts that out, man. Hey, GMA, I done seen 4 GMs, done text me, or I done hit 4 teams up, and then told me they took him off his board. You're gonna run with that. So, but we don't know what that kid was saying in those interviews. And then if that kid falls
Right.
to, let's say, I was gonna say 29, but they just traded that pick, the Rams. But let's say that, but let's say that kid falls to, 14, 15, right? And now the Baltimore Ravens get him and, Zay and Derek and Lamar, and they could be getting AJ Brown, right? Like that's a nasty, you know what I'm saying? And so this is how teams fudge the draft, and these are the things that happen behind the scenes that we don't really get to talk about, and we don't really hear many people say it, right? But I mean,
Right.
these are the things that could be happening, but we also don't know that, man. This could just also be people doing crazy stuff because it's the internet.
Right. It could be somebody sitting in their mama's basement coming up with this, concocting a nice little scheme. But one thing that ain't fake, one thing that ain't fake or funny was Sonny Styles' performance, though. Man, he was one of the stars of the combine. I mean, he ran 4.46 40-yard dash, 43 and a half vertical jump. And for those that don't know, the tape does translate to actually the way he played. He tested out. Because, you have some people that come out there and they test out well, but, you see the tape and you're like trying to figure out who is that guy. It's two different people. So to me, how impressed were you with Sonny Styles and how he came out and did his thing during the combine?
Impressed, yes. Right. Surprised, no. And the reason is if you go to On the Clock draft publication on Substack, right, and you type in Sonny Styles.
Hey, shameless plug, but you need to check it out, y'all. You need to check it out. Go ahead.
And you type in Sonny Styles, you'll pull up his draft profile. And one of the things that I said on his draft profile is elite athletic profile, semicolon, will test well. And what did he go out last week and do? He tested well. 43 and a half inch vertical. Didn't see that coming, right? I thought he would be closer to like 40, 39, 40, especially with his height and weight. But 43 and a half is insane at that height and size, right? 4.4 is insane, right? At that height and size. And then when you go and, like you said, it translates. When you watch the film, he's very like no wasted motion. He scans laterally, like he can move laterally, scrape over the top, get through the hole, right? And stuff runs. And then you see him running with tight ends, and you see him, tracking, running backs on wheel routes and swing routes. And he's a hawk. And you see that safety background, right? Like you see that guy who came from that third level and he's coming down to the second level. Which a lot of guys have trouble translating to that because they're going from eagle eye view to now you're right up on the line of scrimmage almost, right? So now you have to try to learn how to adjust to that. But I mean, like I said, surprised, no. Impressed, highly. And I think this kid is going to be special at the next level.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, I still remember watching a little bit of tape of him scraping over the top, him actually shedding blocks instead of trying to run around blocks. And keep in mind, this man is 6'5", about what, 2'4"?
244.
Yes, he does.
I think he came in at 244.
244. Okay, my fault. 244. But yeah, I was looking at him. I'm like, man, he's like a creative player. Like if I went to Madden and created the player that's big, fast, and strong, can run like that. Yeah, I mean, that would be Sonny Styles. I mean, it would literally be Sonny Styles. Where do you see him going, man? Where do you see him going? I mean, honestly, this kind of solidified to me that he definitely he definitely can make some teams either move up for him or take him early.
Before that, I had him anywhere between the Bucks and I should say the Cowboys' first pick and the Bucks. I think both of those teams need inside linebacker help. Levante Davis getting older, has shown, no pun intended, has shown the fact that he can't really stay healthy. And the Cowboys kind of thrive right? Off of having those second level defenders that can really run and be athletic. But then it's kind of like stars align, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this kid, and so like this kid, you see this kid, he does these things, and it's like, there's a team that we cover that
I
need
knew it.
off-ball linebacker help. Could he be the guy? And so that day I was kind of like
Mhm.
playing around with some things and some scenarios in the simulator, and he would fit the team. Now, do I think he would realistically go that high? Probably not. Right? You don't really see off-ball
Mhm.
linebackers go in the top 5 unless they are generational
Mhm.
guys, right? Instant game changer. I don't think he's generational. I think he's really, really good. I don't think he's generational. I can't
Mhm.
slap the G tag on him. Generational athlete, yes, because when you
Hey,
start getting
please don't do that, man. Please don't do. Thank you,
no, no,
thank
no,
you
no,
for not
no. That's
doing
what I'm
that.
saying. Yeah, generational athlete, yes, because when they skip over, you could have compared them to Fred Warner. You could have compared them
Mhm.
to Urlacher or Lewis. They skipped over all of
Mhm.
that and said, "Hey, he's Calvin Johnson." Like this is what the NFL Network is putting on the jumbotron in Lucas Oil Stadium.
Oh
When you
boy.
get that kind of comparison to 6'5",
Mhm.
6'5", 240, 240, 43-inch vertical, 43 and a
Mhm.
half inch vertical, like all of these things, and it's like, dang, Jesus Christ, perfect RAS score for a wide receiver. If he was a running back, if he was a strong safety, if he was a free safety, he's got perfect RAS scores. The kid's a generational athlete. Is he a generational player? That's yet to be seen.
Mhm.
But like I said, highest I can see him going is the Tennessee Titans. And like I said, it's
Gotcha.
because Robert Saleh it's a pretty cliche, mean reason, but Fred Warner in the middle of that San Francisco 49ers defense, we've seen how that's impacted that defense and how good he is. Robert Saleh is used to having that guy. He's a known linebacker developer. Why not give him
Mhm.
his guy, right? His new Fred Warner, his Sonny Styles, right? And slap that behind to Jeffrey Simmons, who's going to
Mhm.
keep him clean, and see what you got,
Mhm.
right? But then again, he could end up with the Washington Commanders, who also need off-ball
Yeah.
linebacker help, right? You pair him
Oh
with Frankie
Lord, yes they
Louvu.
do.
You pair him with a Frankie
Mhm.
Louvu. Sheesh, right? Like that gets a little
Yeah.
ugly. That gets a little sticky. And also, we don't know if B-Wag is coming back, at least to the team. We know he's coming back for another season, but we don't know
Yeah.
if he's coming back to that team.
Right.
And then another team, and this is where I think he realistically will go, right? And we've seen
Mhm.
this team do this before. The Cleveland Browns. Think about it.
Oh
You
man,
got
he might.
you got
Oh
Carson
man, go
Schwarzenegger.
go ahead though, man. Go ahead though.
Right? You got Carson Schwarzenegger, who came up
Mhm.
and played at an all pro level last year. He didn't make the all pro team, but he's your defensive rookie of the year, right?
Mhm.
You've got, of course, the monster that is Myles Garrett. You got Mason right there.
Mhm.
That secondary. JOK, we don't know if JOK is even going to play again, right? Ever
Mhm.
again,
Mhm.
because of the neck injury. So why not go and get another linebacker to pair with Carson Schwarzenegger and wreak havoc on the NFL, right? Make a strengthen the strength, make a strength of strength, right? And you
Mhm.
plop Sonny Styles right there at that Mike linebacker position, and you let him go and see ball get ball. I think that's a perfect landing spot for this kid.
Yeah, it would be. I just don't know how much winning they would do, but hey, they'd be a great defense. Be a great
It'll be
defense.
a nasty
Um,
defense.
yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Yeah, we're speaking of performances, and a performance that I do want to talk about is Mr. Carnell Tate. Now, I did get to speak with him at his podium as well. Really, talked about the performance and the competition at Ohio State. And you look at the wide receivers. You have a JSN, you got a Marvin Harrison Jr., you've got the kid in Tampa Bay. I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now. I mean, you got all these different wide
Oh, Emeka
receivers that
Ibuka.
have been doing. Yes, thank you. Thank you. You got all these different wide receivers that have done their thing, and he's the next in the long line of that. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, people were talking about his 40 times, saying he ran a 4.53, and they don't know about his speed and all those different things. But to me, what I know is what I saw on that football field on that tape. I saw that man running by people. I saw that man doing some things. And then also you got to understand, he has Jeremiah Smith on the other side. So his route tree is going to be limited because Jeremiah Smith is going to run all those routes and he's going to be doing whatever he needs to do on the backside or whatever. He's just like, hey, go do this. So it isn't like, it's like JSN or some other, wide receivers that were at Ohio State. Their full route tree, you probably don't know they can run the full route tree because they're being asked to do a certain thing for that offense, not that they aren't able to do so. So I think some of the things that are being talked about with him, the 4.53, which I have questions about anyway, but because we were there live. So if people want to ask us questions, we were there live about it. So, the 4.53, that's a little questionable there. I think it's definitely faster. You can speak a little bit more on that, Courtlandt, if you'd like. I know you got some thoughts.
I'll say this to the 40 time, right? I do hand times there live from Indianapolis, and then I post them, right? So you can find those also on the clock draft publication on Substack. But but when we were there, I hand timed him at 4.46 and 4.49, and he fell right, average about 4.48. That was before Adam Schefter ever put the report out about the 4.4s from the other scouts, right? So when I put mine out, it was literally minutes after, right, he's run, right, and after the wide receivers are done with drills. Everybody's like, man, he ain't run that fast. Didn't you see the laser time? Da-da-da-da-da. I'm getting all these DMs and comments and retweets and da-da-da, and people saying. Then all of a sudden, the next day, here comes Adam Schefter. Or I should say like a couple of days later, right? Adam Schefter. Scouts and GMs had him timed as low as 4.45. Then people was on at Adam Schefter saying he's lying and he's trying to help his buddy's client out by giving them by putting his reports out. Then he puts out the text threads. And so it's just crazy to me. Like these kids, man, they work their entire lives and then they work, months to refine their skills. And like you said, on tape, as a guy who played receiver to a guy who played DB and Mike, right? What's the one thing, Mike, when they say like, and my wide receiver coach told me this, and I'm pretty sure your DB coach told you this. If I'm even, I'm what? I'm leaving. This kid gets even, and it's money every time, like on tape. Right. I don't see any lack of burst. I don't see any lack of a second gear. Like you said, one trick pony, but excuse my language, he's a damn good one trick pony, right? Deep nine route, deep post route, deep out route, post corner, he can do it. I'm gonna run past you, and I'm definitely going to catch the ball, right? I'm going to get the 50-50 ball. So I think people are putting a little too much value into the 40 time. We've seen guys like AJ Brown, for example, ran 4.5 at the combine, right? I think he had an official time closer to like 4.47. Right? He got into the league. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like catch AJ Brown once he's out in the open field. Right. And so it's, Jay Jettis. Jettis didn't run the fastest 40 time at the combine. None of these guys run super hyper fast 40. Some of these guys don't run hyper fast. 4.5 is about league average for multiple positions. And so when you look at that and you're looking at, then you look at the product on the field, some guys are just not track runners. I trained with the track team. I never ran track. I don't know how to. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you put me on the. I probably not now, right? 33-year-old Courtlandt ain't going out there to leg out no 4.6 or nothing like that. But
man,
right. But
man, I know. I might see a 4.6 from a distance, but I ain't gonna see it at any time in my future.
I ain't slow, but I ain't. You know what I'm saying? I might give you a smooth 4.85 now, but like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to ice my hands afterwards. But
man,
like,
we both fell out on the floor, man. They gonna have to get me up out of there.
but even to that, right? Like you put me in a pair of cleats and get me out on the football field. Football speed is different, right? There's Usain Bolt can't go out on the football field and run and be fast like that, right? He's fast. He might be fast, but he ain't gonna be football fast. There's a difference between football fast and track fast. So like that's why 40 times a lot of people don't put a lot of stock into it. I do, just for the simple fact it does show you sometimes long speed and to kind of gauge a guy's stride and see his mechanics, because that does matter. But man, this kid can play. He's going to be a top 15 pick. And I mean, if you don't want a 4 or 5 receiver on your team, fine. Somebody does. and they're going to get a really, really good player.
Right. And then, I will tell you this when it comes to 40 times. I look at them when it comes to wide receivers and things like that, whatever. When I look at an O lineman, I'm not paying attention to
10
O
yards.
lineman or really like a D lineman. I'm not really paying attention. Yeah, basically, I'm paying attention to the first 10 yards and I'm paying attention to their agility in different drills. The other 30 yards, that could be whatever to me. O lineman, twitch, and things like that. I'm looking at all those different things and their agility side to side. I'm not necessarily looking at their speed running down 40 yards down the field, because in the game, I don't think I'm ever going to see them run 40 yards down the field sprinting.
Now, I will say this, because I've heard that before. I will say this with defensive linemen and offensive linemen, right? The reason I like the 40 for them is when you see the Trent Williams of the world, right, and those guys, and it's like that long. We both know, Mike, from our years of watching football and covering the game, long plays. Go look at the guy who's 9 times out of 10 who's running downfield 25, 30, 40 yards downfield. It's probably one of those big guys that were on the line of scrimmage to help spring that to keep that play going. And so I do like to see the guys running mechanics, because for big men, generally, because they're so top heavy, right, they tend to do what? They lean forward. They tend to lean and they do this. Right.
Yep.
The longer they run.
Look like Chris Farley dancing, man.
Right. They tend to do this. Right. So when I see guys with actual good running form on that 40-yard dash and how you finish, that generally translates. Go look at Trent Williams' 40 time and his running form and how he carried his sprint, and then go look at Trent Williams on long plays when he's blocking downfield, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see why that matters now. 10-yard split, though, is the most important for offensive linemen, because if you're an offensive lineman, I don't care if you run a 5.2, but if you covering 10 yards in a second, 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds, 1.8 seconds, imagine being a linebacker and you see 330, 340 pounds coming at you, and you got less than 2 seconds to react. That's a scary moment for you. So, that 10 yards matters. That 10-yard time matters a little bit more than that 40.
Yeah. Right. But, of course, we couldn't do this show, talking about the storylines from the NFL Combine, which we were very blessed to actually be able to cover. We couldn't do all this and not talk about Mr. Jeremiah Love. We got to talk about Jeremiah Love. I mean, dude, do you remember this? I'm sitting there. We're both sitting there in the stands watching this man run, and, keep in mind how big this man is. And he just comes out. He's fast as all the other guys out there, like the little bitty guys. And I'm like, that don't make no sense. Then hold up. Then we see him go out and start catching passes. And I'm like, man, this ain't fair. It's a cheat code.
Mike, what did I tell you? What did I tell you sitting in the stands? If I was his agent, what would I have told him?
Man, stop it. Sit down.
Take your cleats off and don't you do not a man another drill. Don't you do not a man. Not you do not a man another one. Because boy, you making this look too easy, man. And he's right. Mike is right, man. Like it's different when you see a man 6'1", 6'2", 220 pounds, and everything's fluid, right? Like generally, you see guys and even with Sonny Styles, right? Like certain stuff, like when even some of the lateral drills, they were smooth, you can tell he's a 6'5", 240 plus pound human being trying to move left to right. Jeremiah Love looked like it's hard to explain it, dude. Like he looked like
I'll try. How about let me try real quick?
Yeah,
I'll try.
He looked like water.
I would say this: imagine a big man moving like Alvin Kamara. That's what I kind of gathered in some senses out there.
But it kind of reminds me when Bruce Lee was like, "Be water," right? Like move like water. Like that's kind of what it gave me. It was like this dude, like he legged out a 4.36, and then his dad was like they showed his dad on the jumbotron, and his dad was like disappointed, and then they showed him, and he's like, "Man, I could have ran faster." Like, bro, you just ran 4.36, bro. If you don't go sit down, like what you mean I could have ran faster? then he came back
Right.
and beat the previous
Right.
time. Like, you know what I mean? Freak of nature,
Yeah, it's
man. And then
insane, man.
like you said, they was running through the running back drills, y'all, and like the kid's feet, like it's like he barely touching the turf. Like he do, like boom, like, and it's
Mm-hmm.
sudden, and he's got the burst, and then plot twist. Running back drills is over. Hey, let's line you up over here. Like after the cameras is off, let's line you out here at wide receiver and see if you can run these deep post routes. And he's running that. Like, he's making that look good.
Yep.
So he's a special kid, man. He's a special athlete, and you don't really see that often, right? Like Jahmyr Gibbs, you get a Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey,
Yes.
you know, Alvin Kamara. You get one of those guys every so many years, or Reggie Bush, right? Like you get those guys every so many years. And I'll say this kid is more reminiscent to me of Reggie Bush than like anybody else I've ever seen, right? Because Reggie could do that. Reggie did all of that, right? He ran fast. He could run wide receiver routes. He had solid hands. He can get through the hole. He can run outside, inside, gap scheme, zone scheme. Jeremiah Love reminds me of all of that. And this is why I always say, like, I feel like Reggie Bush, he was a generation too early, right? Because in today's NFL, Reggie Bush is eating, like, bro, Jahmyr Gibbs wouldn't have a say-so in this, right? Like, Reggie Bush would eat, like, people alive, right? So, like, Jeremiah Love to me is that special. He's that kind of guy. And I know we don't like this word, but he might be generational. He might be.
I knew we weren't gonna leave here without the G word being said about somebody.
He might be. He might be. And here's the thing: I'm not stamping the generational, but if you ask, if a gun to my head, and they say, Courtlandt, you have to name a generational player from the 2026 draft class, Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane watching this. I mean, people, I'm just telling you, as being there in person, this is the first time I actually got to cover the NFL Combine. And seeing these guys in person, it don't make sense. The laws of physics do not apply to the NFL Combine with some of the stuff that we saw. It just does not apply. I mean,
it also makes you say, like, man, I'm glad God had other plans. Because, boy, Jesus Christ. 220 pounds, 230 pounds, 240 pounds, through a 310 pounds should have moved like that. That's crazy.
Right. Man, I tell you, man. Any other storylines you got from the sorry, I didn't mention. Hold on. I didn't mention that, of course, we did see one corner. He had a nice little talk with me. And I asked him, how did he basically
what are you doing, Mike?
He said he was a cross between Darrelle Revis and Charles Woodson. That cornerback's name is Texas cornerback Malik Muhammad. He literally told us he was a cross between Darrelle Revis and Charles Woodson. I appreciate the confidence, but I don't know if I'd have said that. But
hey, brother. Hey, Malik, his name, brother. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, right? And I love you.
Hey, maybe you will.
I love you. I love you. I think you're a dog. I think you can really play football, right? But look me in my podcast eyes, right? You ain't that. Like, you're not that, right? Like you might be Cromartie. You might be the teammate. you might be Cromartie and Al Harris, right? You know what I mean? But you ain't. You know, shout out to Coach Al. But, like, come on, bro. You, like, what? Like, Charles?
Yeah,
and Revis?
Yeah, I'll say this about him. He definitely set the bar high for what he expects from himself in the league. And who knows, maybe he becomes that guy. But that is a high bar. He set 2 Hall of Famers. You just named out.
And not just 2 Hall of Famers, 2 first ballot. Didn't nobody better than I. Anytime the DB conversation comes up, it's them 2 names. You're going to hear them 2 names along with like a small group of some other guys. You got to be that. You have to be that dude to be. And here's the thing, right, y'all? don't take this. This is just fun, Malik. If you're watching this is just fun, brother. Like I think you're a really good football player. I think you're a damn good
Yeah, we
football
both
player.
do.
And this kid, he is special, right? And you do need confidence to play that position, just like we talked about with Makai Lemon. Like, if I can't have some fun with joking on you for saying something wild, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be taking yourself a little too serious. But you know, but like, man, I think he's a damn good football player, man. I just think when you got to be that dude, and that's a really high bar. And in a way, like watching these kids, man, like, and I can say kids now because I'm 33, so I'm like 9 years. Some of these guys senior, 10 years. Some of these guys senior now, which is wild to say. But watching these kids, like, and you just like, bro, I want you to be you, right? Like, I don't want you to be Charles Woodson. I don't want you to be Dion or Champ Bailey. I want you to be Malik, right? I want you to be Malik Muhammad, right? I want you to go out there and play your game. You know what I mean? Make your stamp on the field, right? Same thing with Sonny and Jeremiah and Makai and Carnell and Jordan Tyson. I want you to make your name known, right? Like put your mark on the NFL, so that when we have those conversations, your name comes up and it's not just in conjunction with these guys. But yeah, man, it was just wild when you said it. I was like, nah, he ain't say that. Not them.
Had it on tape, brother.
No, not him.
Had it on tape, brother.
Not them.
Yeah.
But
I couldn't believe it. I honestly, when I first heard it, I was like, "Ooh, do tell." And, you know, so I listened to him. He actually broke down the ways why too, and I was like, oh, "Okay, he got confidence about him." So we'll see how that turns out. Hey,
got some swag,
and
man.
I hope it will. Like Courtlandt was saying, yeah. Right, like Courtlandt was saying, hey, we just joking a little bit, but hey, we wish you well. We definitely, I definitely see that kid having a future in the NFL and being able to play in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe he was swung for the fences right there. I just couldn't believe that part. But you know,
I mean, fast, long. He's rangy. He's got good ball skills. I mean, he matched up with Jeremiah Smith week 1. So if you want to go watch some tape on Malik Muhammad, you want to see a really good game from a DB, go watch that Ohio State game. He matched up with Carnell and Jeremiah Smith both in that game, and he held his own. So, I mean, he's a damn good player. Like I said, he's really good. It's just wild when I hear those comparisons, and I hate comparisons. I'm one of the evaluators. Like, I hate pro comps in a way. Because immediately people say, "Oh, you're saying he's this guy," and I'm like, "No, like I'm not saying he could be right, like what this guy is." But yeah, man. But like even to like Jeremiah Smith, for example, like I know he's getting a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs, you know, comparisons, and to me, it's like, no, he's Jeremiah Love. He's different than all of those guys, right? He's not a 4.2 speed guy. He's a 4.3 speed guy with some size to him. Jahmyr Gibbs ain't lining up in the slide and running nobody's post route. Okay,
right.
But this kid can. So, and by the way, he was in Nashville today for a top 30 visit. So, if you're a Titans fan, be on the lookout for that, because that is a guy that can honestly, Sonny, but realistically, this is a kid that could end up in a two-tone blue uniform.
I'm sorry, it could be a two-tone blue uniform. You need to say that. Sir.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Let me say that.
Could be.
It might be a two-tone blue uniform. It might not be this logo. We don't know. This hat is about to be a throwback in about 7 days.
right. Right. You got any other players you want to talk about, man, or you want to put out there as well?
Let's talk about Lil. Oh, I shouldn't even say Lil Styles. I think he's the older brother, Lorenzo Styles.
Yes.
And I ain't go. It's not even just that one player, right? This whole position group. And never have I ever thought, or did I ever think I'd see the day where safeties were more impressive and more athletic than corners. And that's the NFL that we're leaning into now, right? Lorenzo led the way for athleticism, and the Styles brothers just said, like, hey, I don't know if y'all came to play or y'all came to compete, but we did. Because 4.4, 43 and a half, and then 40. I think he jumped like 10.5, and then came out and said, hey, Sonny, hold my beer. right? Because I'm finna run this 4.27. Like, bro, just and when you think about it, their father, who's also a defensive, I want to say Lorenzo Styles Sr., right? Um, also played defensive end at Ohio State, and he was an athlete, a pretty athletic defensive end for his own time. And so the fact that both of his kids are now, and I think he played in the NFL for a short stint as well. So the genetics, are paying off. So they got NFL pedigree. But when you see what 4.27 looks like in person, not on TV, in person, and it's like, yo, like there's guys faster than that. Like Tyreek Hill exists. Xavier Worthy exists. Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just freaky, man, like how twitchy these safeties are now, because now you've got a league where, like you said, wide receivers are running 4.4s, right? 4.5 is the standard, right? Like it's kind of that's the cutoff point. Like you 4.5, you slow down, which is wild. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the standard, that's the cutoff. So, some of your faster receivers in the league, and now as a quarterback, if you ain't getting that ball in the window, you got 4.3, 4.2 covering the back end now. These guys they going from right hash to left sideline and picking balls off. And they got the speed to take them back to the house now. So like it was Sonny Styles may not ever be a all-pro caliber safety, right?
Lorenzo.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lorenzo. Yeah, Lorenzo Styles may not ever be an all-pro caliber safety, but he's always going to be one of the most athletic players in the NFL now, right? Like that's something to say. Right. So I mean, and that's not even talking about like Robert Spears Jennings, right, out of Oklahoma, another guy who had a heck of a day. Jalen Kilgore had a heck of a day. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren didn't have a bad day, right? But like all of these Daniel Thinneman out of Oregon, another really athletic guy who put on a good show. So man, like it's so many guys, and we'll be here for 12 hours talking about, if we talked about every player, but it's
gonna be a lot of safeties on notice.
Yeah, man. Like, and that was one thing that Daniel Jeremiah did say. Like, as soon as the safety workouts got finished, he said he got a text message from around the league. His phone was blowing up saying, "Hey, if you're a free agent safety, you can cancel Christmas." Like this class has made it way harder for you to get in the door with some of these NFL teams, because now. I mean, outside of Caleb Downs and Daniel Thinneman and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I mean, Kamari Lassiter could be back into the first round, early second round. But then you got, like I said, Robert Spears Jennings and AJ Halsey and all of these guys that could possibly end up being third, fourth, fifth round picks and end up being a starter at some point for your football team. So I don't have a lot of guys because, like I said, like this is right in my wheelhouse, and I don't want to keep us here for 8 hours. Talking about guys, but like I said, man, it was a very great week for the combine. Multiple groups outside of the quarterbacks set records. Wide receivers, fastest average time for a combine in NFL history. Defensive linemen, I mean, can I interest you in a Zane Durant 4.75 at 290 pounds? Right, like. Fastest average for defensive linemen, right? Fastest average for linebackers, fastest average for corners, fastest average for wide receivers. I think I said that already. The only team tight ends, right? Can I interest you in a Eli Stowers 45.5-inch vertical, 4.4, right? Speed. Kenyon Sadiq 43.5-inch vertical, 4.3 speed at tight end. Mind you, these are 250-pound men running this fast. Right, so it's about to be a scary generation of football players. Scary, because these guys are only getting, and then next year, mind you, Cam Coleman, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Nick Marsh, the list goes on and on. You got about 4 or 5 guys, I would say about 6 guys, right? That are that tower that stand about 6'3" to 6'6" that run right now. Like unofficial times in college, 4.443. Let that sink in. That's unofficial time. Sonny Styles was an unofficial 4.54 at Ohio State. Unofficial. He came to the combine and said, "Hold my beer, 4.4 at 200, almost 250 pounds." All I'm saying is like I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what these kids are going to do once they hit the league now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
how these veterans
Right.
are going to. Man, y'all better go hit the
They gotta
speed
adapt,
sleds.
man.
Y'all better go
They
hit the
gotta
speed
adapt to
sleds.
something. Now, I will tell you, you did mention Lorenzo Styles, senior. He actually was a former standout linebacker for Ohio State, played 6 seasons in the NFL, and won a Super Bowl with the Rams, actually. So, yeah.
Look at that.
So
And
he
now his
actually,
son,
yeah.
one
So
of his
that I
sons or
looked
both
him
of
up
his
real
sons
quick.
could be Rams. Yeah, one or both of
That
them
would be a
could be
trip, right?
Rams. That'd be wild.
Yeah, ain't no telling. Ain't no
So,
telling. But yeah, Courtlandt, man, we got to wrap this thing up, man. Thank you for coming on, man. It's always fun when you come on, man. We always have a good time, laugh a little,
for
have a
sure.
good conversation. But yeah, if you can, tell everyone where they can find you. Tell everyone where they can find On the Clock. And just tell them just generally what all you got going on, man.
Yeah, man. You can find me at the THEC Griffy Griffy on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, and Courtland Larnell Matthew Griffin. At on
Man, you gave
Facebook.
him the government. You gave him the government.
Yeah, it's on there. It's on there, so it's already out there. If you Google my name, I'm literally the only one of me that pops up. So you can put it in Google as well. That is an interesting thing when you Google yourself and you see like all of your stuff pop up, right? So
I'm
kind of
gonna
made me
tell
feel
you a
like I
story about
made
that, but just keep going.
it. Kind of made me feel like I made it the first time I did it. I was like, oh, look at that. Those are more articles. But and then so on the clock draft publication, you can just type in On the Clock on Substack, substack.com. You can go there and type that in and it'll pull me up right there. Or you can type my name in and it'll pull me up, pull up On the Clock, and you can get scouting reports, mock drafts, big boards. The final big board should be out no later than Saturday. So my final top 100 big board, top 100 players in the draft class for 2026 should be out. Yeah, man. 3-point conversion. You can find my articles on and Tennessee Titans coverage there. And then you can also find me on here on Touring the AFC South or on ESPN Radio on the Lake Lewis show. So I can add that to my resume now. That's interesting. That's fun. Yeah, man. So you can find me a little bit of everywhere. Like there's being sports talk. There's being sports talk. Just know I'm somewhere in the midst, right? Like it's like I'm like what God say in the Bible, where 2 or 3 are gathered. I'm somewhere in the midst of where 2 or 3 journalists or sports talks is. I'm somewhere. I'm in there.
Oh man, hey, I was gonna tell you, I looked up Mike Patton, and of course, there's the Faith No More Mike Patton. So I actually have to basically when I put in Mike Patton, I have to put in Mike Patton Sports to find myself.
Oh, really?
So I can't even
To
find
find
myself
yourself?
to put in Mike Patton. Yeah. To find myself, I have to do that. And then literally the funniest thing is I still get from time to time get messages from people that are like in rock bands. They'll send me messages thinking I'm that Mike Patton. So I get that from time to time too. I'm like, did y'all look at the picture to notice that we kind of don't look alike? We kind of that Mike Patton.
Yeah,
we don't look like.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
it'd be funny, man.
It's funny, man. Like when I tell people my name is Courtland, right? They instantly say like Courtland Sutton or Courtland Finnegan, right? And so for a long time growing up, like I never met another Courtland. Like I didn't know. I thought my name was like I was like my parents cursed me. Like they gave me the one name that don't nobody else have. It's a million Mikes. No offense. Like there's a million Mikes, there's a million Steves, there's a million Johns, and then it's like I got Courtland. Like I got the one 3 syllable, like 10 letter 2 syllable name in the world. And then I started seeing other people and I started to meet people and I'm like, oh man, your name Courtland, but my spelling is different. Like some people spell it CORTLAND. Some people spell it with like how I spell it with no T. Like I'm like, bro, like I can't win for losing, but man, like it's dope because I've not met a Courtland yet and to toot our own horn, all the Courtlands out there that ain't been good at what they do. I ain't met an ugly Courtland yet, right? So we some handsome fellows. And we all walk around with a swagger that's undeniable. So like, I mean, ladies, if you're watching this, right, get you a Courtland. I'm taking, but there's a Courtland somewhere for you.
Oh my goodness, man. Look, I'm Mike Patton. Of course, you can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton. That's MikePaton. You can find me on Instagram and threads at that's THA, not THE, _general_MP. Touring the AFC South. You can find on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And then also you can find me on YouTube at the Mike Patton Network, where I got this show. I've got This Woman Works. I've got a HBCU show that I'm getting ready to bring back as well. So I got my hands in a lot of different things, basically. So thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Touring the AFC South. Thank you, Courtlandt, for coming on. We're out. Peace.